Alright guys, so today we're doing the LED lights on the cluster. Right now, they actually do have LED lights, but I went with the cheap kind and I totally regret it because even though you can see it, in my opinion, at night it is barely visible. It's horrible. It's like the original lights that were on the dash were way better than this. I just wanted something red to make it look better. But it's not bright enough at all. So don't go cheap. That's the first lesson learned in the video. And so I went off with these. I mean, to most people this is still considered cheap, but the design of them is different from the ones I actually got. I'll show you the ones I actually got. They're not the greatest. And so what you want to get started off, if you're lucky enough, if you have a steering wheel like mine that just basically comes off, that's your first step. And if you want even better clearance, you want to take this off, which is held on by 4 screws on each side, just those 4, and you want to lower this that as much as possible. Then after you take this plastic cover off, you got 2 screws here, one there, and when you take this off, it's gonna be the second hardest part of the whole modding part of the LED lights. Then the first hardest thing is actually taking off the connections off of this. I don't know, it's probably different for everybody, but for my car, for some odd reason, those cables are just the hardest thing to take off. And then after this is off, you're gonna see that this cluster is held on by 3 screws, 1 on top and 2 on the bottom. Make sure you hold on to them really tightly because they tend to slip out of your hands, and then they might fall here or they might not fall at all. So keep that in mind. And then most people disconnect the cables from the cluster. When I did the LEDs for the first time, I didn't do it. I just, flopped it around, and it's just 3 LEDs that you have to change. But let me get started taking off some of the stuff. Alright, so I got the 4 screws from that thing right there, and this is what's gonna happen. So that's off to the side. Now you actually have a little bit more room to actually try to take this off. It's not gonna be easy, it's still gonna be hard to take off even with the cover off. So next thing is those 2 screws. Just a quick tip, make sure you have a small screwdriver like this to actually be able to get in there. Forgot to mention that in the video, but it should start to come off. See where it's coming. There it goes, there's one. There's the other one. There it goes. Okay, so here comes the difficult part. I am gonna need my 2 hands to actually get to it. For some odd reason, it always gets jammed up on something on the bottom, so let me try to get that out. You can see that there's the cables. There's one, and if you have cruise control, the other one's right there. Seems a little bit easier than last time, but let me not say that. Alright, so actually that took less time to actually take these out. I don't know if it's because I have long nails this time around and I've actually done it before, but just to keep in mind, it didn't take that long. So what I did focus on was those 2 little plastic things right there, 1 and 2, because those were actually the ones that were basically jamming up. So when you take it out, make sure you get the bottom first, and then the top will just like slide out pressure wise. So yeah. Alright, so this is the other part. There's a screw, come on, focus, right down there, and there, and then the top. And then I'll get those out and move the cluster to the side so you can actually see the back side of it. And let me get started on that. Alright, so all 3 of them are out. I try to keep them organized, keep the cluster ones there, the first plastic thing there, and then those 2 are the ones that hold that piece. So should just slide out easily. Alright, cool. So we have it there. The ones that you want to change out are the big orange ones there. There's another one there, and there's another one there. And then if you have a steering bag, not steering bag, a steering wheel just like mine, which is aftermarket, and you don't have the spindle with the cables that connect to it, so you can cut the cables and make your horn work or whatever, and make your airbag light go off. What I ended up doing is, see that little thing filled with plastic? I took out the bulb, but you can't take out the bulb entirely unless you cut those cables, and which I didn't want to do. I didn't want to cut cables, and you know, I don't want to do that to a 240. So I've wrapped up the light, this light, which is the airbag light, which is a big red annoying light. I took that out and wrapped it around with electrical tape, and so you can't see it anymore blinking like crazy. Another thing, if you're really annoyed and if you're keeping in your car, don't do this when you're selling a car, but this is the check engine light. You can take that out if you don't want to, if you're going to a car show and try and make it look cool without no check engine lights when the car's on, you can take that light out. I don't know if it's worth it or if anybody even cares. LED lights, I'm pretty sure everybody should know if you've been researching, but if you haven't, they're polarized. So instead of like putting them on and just like putting everything back together, put them on, test out if all of them turn on. If they don't turn on, take the one that's not working, flip it around, plug it back in. That's all you have to do. I keep in mind where the letters are too, by the way. See how the 2's upside down? All of them are upside down like that, so keep that in mind when you take these out, so you can put them the same way. And these are the ones that I bought that were cheap, that really just caused me more headaches than actually anything good that they did. I mean, I thought it would be good. Look how many LEDs are in there, but they're not bright enough. They don't shine as much as they should. Alright, so that's the first comparison. I mean, you can already tell how much more bigger it is. Alright, so one thing I forgot to mention is that if you try testing it out without plugging the dimmer in, it won't turn on. Like your lights, your headlights will turn on and everything, but your gauge cluster lights will not turn on. I mean, look. It's on. They should be on, but not even the old ones are turning on. So make sure you keep those on, because that is completely annoying. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can tell. See how those numbers are pretty dim up there? Alright, so this is the new one. Basically, it lights up this much. That compared to that. It looks like it's working. I mean, we gotta test it out at night, mainly. So what I ended up doing, come on, focus, is, remember, keep the 2 backwards. So when it goes in, 2 is backwards. And then I put the long metal thing, not long, but that metal thing on your left side when you put this in. So it's gonna go in like that. Try to do that for all of them, and hopefully that would make it so that you don't have to redo everything and check. Alright, so for some odd reason, these two, I put them in the same way, they worked. But the one on the last end, I put it the same way, it didn't work, so I flipped it around and it works. So there you go. But like I said, we gotta test it out at night, see how it goes. I think it looks pretty cool. Just go with this type of, I'm not saying which brand, but this type of LED. Don't go with the flat ones, because the flat ones did not work out in the 240 as well as I thought they would. Alright, so here it is, all back together. Like I said, we gotta test it out at night. But it seems good so far. I mean, kind of looks the same on camera, but in person it's a little bit different. When you put this in, just make sure it clips on first. I haven't even put the screws all the way, or not even in. I just tapped it down and it clicks on. When you're putting this huge piece back in, start from the bottom, get over these two like things that's on here, just get over that, and then grab the back part and just like push it down a little bit and push it backwards, and it'll go in, and then your 2 screws on top. And well, make sure you do the connections to these things, because your lights won't even work if you don't have this one connected. And that's pretty much it, and you're done. Oh, but before I go, I wanted to show you the airbag light. See how it's not on there? It's just a brake light. It's not blinking or anything, and that could be very annoying, especially driving on the road. So that was pretty good that I figured out a way without cutting cables or even having the spindle, because when I bought the car I didn't even have the spindle. So next thing is actually figuring out how to get my horn to work, and or if it even works. But like I said, still have the check engine light on there, the bulb connected. So alright, let's get to the night version. Alright guys, so it's finally nighttime. We're back here again, and we're here to actually test out how the lights actually look, if they're actually better. The other ones were dim, and these are actually a lot brighter. You can actually see them at night. This is what I wanted. The other ones were way dimmer than this, and this is just perfect. I can actually see it. You can actually see it on camera, which is perfect. Now it kind of matches the rest. Oop, what the? Yeah, these have been flickering. You gotta like push into them to make it work. Those are actually high end. Those aren't cheap. Those are actually from superledlights.com. It was a pain in the butt to even install. I didn't even install the ones for the numbers over here because I didn't want to rip plastic or anything like that. But the one where it says the cold and hot, that was replaced, and then the top ones were replaced. I kept that one original. I have the lighter thing somewhere in here. But there you go, guys. That's how it looks. Let me focus. It looks way nicer, way more brighter. I hope this video, you guys enjoyed watching it. I hope it helped you out figuring out how to install it, and I hope to hear from some comments and what you guys think. I'll put the link to these below. See, look, they keep going out. I don't like that. Yeah, guys, let me know. Like, subscribe, and have a great day, guys.